Okay. And please, if you lose my audio, or if you think my audio is shaky at any point, please do let me know in the chat. It happened the last time. I'm hoping it won't. The headset is now working properly. So let's put Power BI desktop download. Okay. Power BI desktop download. Then let's click on download Microsoft Power BI desktop. So once you get here, once you type Power BI desktop download, ignore this Tableau BI. The next option that comes up from Microsoft, that is what you should click on, and it will bring you to this page. Then, of course, the default language is in English. Then you click on download. Once you click on download, um, you go to your downloads folder and you just double click on it. The installation is straightforward. Just click yes. Most of everything you need to click is on the default settings. Then you have Power BI installed. So because I have Power BI installed already, is there anyone who is, let me see if I can allow you share screen. Is there anyone who doesn't have Power BI that is willing to share his or her screen? So we use the person as an example for others today. Is there anyone you could just indicate in the chat and I'll see if I can give you permission to share your screen. So we can do it with your system. So the data set we'll be using today is inside Power BI. So we won't be downloading from any external source. So it's going to make our work easier today. Also, if you are in the chats here and you have Power BI installed already, can you just put yes? Let me get a sense. If you have, let's see those that have Power BI installed already. So we can get to work. I would like us to start in the next few minutes. So, okay, I see 3 people with Power BI installed already. So for Mac, you can't download it directly, but there's a workaround. I won't be able to show you workaround now, but if you stay back, I can send you the YouTube link you can use to, get the workaround. So some people use remote desktop for the workaround. So, and there's something they call I don't really know the name now, but there are workarounds for Mac, but you can download it directly. You can download it directly on your Mac. Okay, so we have a few people that have Power BI installed on their laptop already. So it's safe to say majority of us have Power BI installed already. So is there anybody still trying to install so we can wait for you, maybe give you a few more minutes before we start? I want us to start at exactly 20 minutes after. So we have about 6 minutes more to go over all this. Thanks, Ade, for sharing the YouTube link for Mac. So is there anybody still trying to download Power BI? Please indicate in the chat. We don't want anybody to be lost. We want everybody to be carried along. So I haven't done much faith. I just went to Google, type Power BI desktop, right? Click on the first, ignore this one that says sponsored by Tableau. They're just advertising their product. Click on the first link that is from Microsoft that says download Microsoft Power BI desktop. That's after typing Power BI desktop download on Google, right? So click on this. Once you click on that, it brings you on this page. Your default language is already set to English. Then you click on download, then you have Power BI installed already. So it's as simple as that. Once you download that, go to your download folder and click on what you just downloaded. The installation is straightforward. Just click on yes, yes, yes till you get to the end. It shouldn't take you more than 2 or 3 minutes to complete. So we have 5 minutes more to wait for those that are downloading their Power BI. Like I said, for those of you that maybe came in a bit late, if you have questions from last class, for those that attended the last webinar, yeah, I will be willing to take your questions. Okay, for those that have downloaded Power BI, this is this is the page you will get to, right? It brings you on this landing page. So this is where I want us to start from. Don't click on this blank report first. Just stay on this page. Once you open Power BI newly, it usually brings you to this page. Stay on this page, and I'll show you how we're going to get the data. So Power BI itself is very big. Um, there's a whole lot of stuff you can do with Power BI. Um, today, we will not be doing data modeling. We'll be working with the data directly, but I'm going to show you, like, if you're working in maybe a standard production environment and you have this type of data sets, how would you do the data modeling? So I'm going to be showing you that after we finish building our report. It's not a very large data set, so um I believe we'll be able to finish it on time. Then I'll show you in a production level environment, what are you expected to do? How do you model this data? I'm going to show you how to do all that. And for those of you that had uh those of you that got the DAX syntax for creating the calendar table, I sent it to you in the last class. Yeah, if you have it, good. We can use it in today's class. But if you don't have it, there's absolutely no problem. The data itself has calendar table embedded in it, so we don't really need to do anything special. But if you have it, I just want to show you how you can leverage it in a lot of your analysis. All right. So please let's have Power BI open. Let me get open from 5 people, then we'll start. Open Power BI, confirm you can see what I am saying, and let's get started. So Michael will be joining us shortly to talk about the bootcamp, but in the meantime, let's get started. If you have Power BI opened and you can see what I am saying, please put opened in the chat if you are on this page. Okay, we have 3 people. Okay. Open, open, open. Awesome. So let's get to work. So immediately you get here, right? Normally we'll click on blank reports, then we'll bring in data, but we're not going to do that. We're going to use an inbuilt data set, a Power BI inbuilt data set. So you're going to do what? Learn with sample data. Learn with sample data. So click on this learn with sample data. Click on it. Immediately you click on that learn with sample data, you see 2 ways to use sample data. You see this modal that comes up, right? Then you click on what? Load sample data. You click on what? Load sample data here. And Power BI will start loading. You can see financials and you can see sheet 1, right? You see financials, you see sheet 1. To see a preview of what is contained in that financials data set, just click on the body and you see the data in this format. Now, I'm going to take a pause here. If you are here, confirm this is the exact data set you have. You can see segments, country, product, discount band. Please confirm this is the same data set you have. I need like 2 or 3 people to confirm this is what you have. Yes, yes. Awesome. Yes. So if this is the data set you have, that is good. click on that checkbox beside financials, right? Click on that checkbox. Immediately you click on that checkbox. We are not going to load the data yet. I want us to go to transform, right? Let's go to transform. So click on what? Transform data. So it's going to open up another window that we call what? Power Query. It's going to open up another window that we call what? Power Query. Now, Power Query is an extension of Power BI. It's used for that's where we do most of our transformations for Power BI. So Power Query is also available for Excel. It's exactly the same thing. If you know how to use Power Query from Excel, it's the same thing. Power Query is the same for Excel, it's the same for Power BI. And if you learn it for Power BI now, it's going to take your Excel skill like to another level. There are ways you can use Power Query in Excel that makes your work so sweet. Okay. Normally the way I configure my Power BI, I don't want us to have different view, right? The way I configure my Power BI, I like to remove all automatic steps. I like to take charge of everything by myself, right? I said it in the last class again. I said it in the last class and I'm saying it again. I like to take charge of everything, but I don't want us to have differences in our Power BI versions. So that's why I'm leaving this here. If you look at this right part that says slide steps, you'll see source, navigation, change type, right? You see these things. We don't want Power BI to do anything for us, right? So let's cancel that step let's cancel that step that says change type. Let's leave it at only navigation. Let's leave it at only navigation. Then let us change the data type by ourselves so that we can set the data types according to what we want. Sometimes Power BI will assume a very wrong data set. In the last class, I don't know if we touched it in the last class. For example, if you see phone number, some phone numbers start with 0, right? If you have a phone number that starts with 0123, for example, and Power BI automatically picks that field as a number. Let me see if I can bring up Excel here. If Power BI starts that, you have a number like this, 0123, right? Even look at what Excel would do. Can you see that it took out the first 0? Because there was really no 0123 is the same thing as 123. So why are you putting 0 in front? So Power BI will automatically take out that 0, right? So for example, in Excel, if we want that 0123 to appear in full, we'll put an apostrophe in front and we have 0123. It's going to appear this way. So for Power BI or Excel, if you set this field to a numeric field, they will take out that first 0. And if you're working with fields like postal codes that have 0 in front and the 0 is taken away, it's going to be a problem. That's going to be a wrong postal code. So whenever you're dealing with phone numbers, postal codes, you set it to text. You don't set it to numbers. Anyway, any the what I use as a rule of thumb for choosing data set for fields that look like numbers, but we don't want to set to numbers. For example, for phone number, can I perform calculations on that field? Will I do this phone number plus this phone number? Will I take the average of phone number? No. I'm not going to be performing any calculation on that field. So since I'm not going to be performing any calculation on that field, right? Just change that phone number field, postal code, make sure they are in text formats and not numbers. Another case where you face it is when you have something like customer ID, product ID. You have those things a lot. Set them to text, don't set them to numbers because you won't be performing calculations on them. So now that we've taken out that field, let's start changing our data types. So for segments, we can see that this is a text, right? So currently we can see it sets to ABC123. Let's change this to text. So how do we do that? There are two ways, and I'm going to show you now. You can right click on that particular field and come down to what? Change type, right? Once you come down to change type, then look for all the options and select what? Text. It will change it to what? Text for you. Another way to do it is, if you look at the name segment, just beside it, you see ABC123. You see ABC123, right? Just click on that ABC123 and you see all the data types that we have and select what? Text. You've changed it. A faster way to work, right? Country looks like text. There are no digits here. The same thing as products. The same thing as discount pound. Instead of changing them to text one by one, you can select 3 of them and change it once. How do you do that? Select the first one, hold down your control key, select the second one, still holding down your control key, select the third one. That's one way. I might decide I want to select country. For another example, I can decide I want to select country, units, and maybe sales price. I can still use control key to do it. I want to show you the difference between using control key and using shift. So if I select country, if I hold down the control key, I can select unit sold, still holding down the control key, I can select maybe sales. So I can select columns that are not even one after the other. I can select them together and perform an operation on them simultaneously. Now, if I want to use shift, that's the former step I showed you now is using control. If I want to use shift, let's say I want to select everything from segment to sales. Instead of holding segments, instead of selecting segments, holding down the control key and selecting them one by one. If, for example, I want to select everything from segments to sales, I want to select everything, all the columns between segments and sales. What will I do? Select the first one, hold down your shift key and select the last one to select everything together. But control key, you select one by one. Shift key to select everything together at once. So there are sometimes you have columns like 20 columns, 40 columns, and you want to do, maybe most of the columns are maybe there are some text fields that are all together, right? You can just, hold down your shift key and select the first one, select the last one, and immediately you perform your transformation. It will save you time instead of doing them one by one. And maybe you have a case whereby manufacturing price is here, and the idea is for you to select segment and everything together, right? Maybe you want to select everything together, but this manufacturing price is disturbing you. You can, after selecting everything, or you can just drag the manufacturing price away from there and arrange all the columns that are similar, arrange them together just by dragging and dropping. Power BI is very, very easy to use. Then you do your selection and you change the data type. Okay, so let's change for country, product, and discount band. Let's change them together. So I will select country, select it up towards discount bound. And if you are still struggling with using select, using shift or using control key, just do it one by one. The data set is not very large. So let's right click and come towards change type and set it towards text. So with one shot, we've changed the data type for these 3 fields together. So manufacturing price, quickly, somebody should tell me in the chat, what should we give manufacturing price? What data type should we? I'm going to open it so you can see all the data type. Which of these data types should we give manufacturing type? Quickly in the chat. What should we give it? What data type should we give it? Decimal. Okay, that's one option. Fixed decimal. Awesome. So I said it in the last class. If you are working with price, what do you think price is? It's money terms, it's in currency, right? Okay, another person said whole number. So anytime you are dealing with something like price, cost, sales, you are dealing with things that have maybe that they're expressed in money terms, right? In money terms. Use what? Fixed decimal. And you see fixed decimal as that dollar symbol beside it, right? Just use what? Fixed decimal in this case for manufacturing price. Good. So look at an example. Let's say I want to change manufacturing price and sales price together. Instead of doing it one by one, I know sales price also is going to be what in fixed decimal. I can select manufacturing price, hold down my control key, select sales price, and right click and change this to what fixed decimal. So I can do both of them together. So for units sold, what is the appropriate data type for units sold? Quickly, what's the appropriate data type for units sold? For the number of units sold, what is the appropriate data type? Whole number, okay. What's the appropriate um data type for it? Whole number. But look at it for you to be sure. Whenever you see the data set, right? Click on this drop down arrow here and see the kind of values you are seeing. Can you see there are some values that have decimals beside them? 865.5. That means it's possible for somebody to, maybe they are in patterns, maybe in boxes. Maybe it's possible to make half order, right? You can make half, you can buy half a box and maybe share with somebody else. So some people can buy half. And so you can see 86.5, you can see some of them have decimal places. So if you change it to whole number, it will round up and it's not a true representation of your data set, right? You want to retain the originality of the data set as much as possible. And every transformation you do, you want to explain that, oh, this transformation, these steps were done, these steps were done. Okay. So, but unlike manufacturing price, we are not going to use fixed decimal number. We're just going to use this ordinary decimal number here. Awesome. So quickly, just guide me. For sales, what are we using? For sales, what are we using? Quickly. For sales, we are using what? Easily. Just like price, sales is also in money terms. We are using fixed decimal, the one that has dollar beside it, dollar sign beside it. We are using fixed decimal. So the discount here, this I've already previewed the data. This discount is not expressed in percentages. A lot of people will usually express their discount as a percentage of what the price is. But this one, the way they've done this data sets, the discount is the value of that discount is what's put here. So it's also in money terms. So this discount is also going to be what? A fixed decimal. So since I know I'm going to change discounts, sales, cost of goods sold, and profits, I'm going to change everything to money, to that fixed decimal. I can just hold these discounts, hold down my shift key, and select profits. So I can select four of them together and change everything to what's fixed decimal. So I'll right click, come to change type, and select fixed decimal. So I changed everything in one attempt. Awesome. For date, we change date to, as the name implies, we change the words date. And for the month number, for the month number, what are we going to change it to? These are all numbers. If you click on this drop down, you see it. Just have 1 to 12. These are all numbers. So we change the month number to what's all numbers. The month name, of course, we change it to text. And the year, we won't do calculations on the year. You could leave it as text, it will work. Or you could also leave it as all numbers. It will work. It doesn't change anything. So what we've done now is what we call data transformation. Although this is not super advanced. This is like a basic transformation. What we've done is is part of the things we call what? Data transformation. You could also do some calculations from here, but we are not going to be doing it here. All the calculations will be done inside Power BI, not in Power Query. Again, so we can calculate what we call profit margin. Whenever you have profits, what I usually do, whenever I have profits in my data set, I usually calculate profit margin. But what is profit margin? How do we calculate it? We're going to show you everything in Power BI. And at the end of the class, just like the last slides, I'm going to show you how you can use ChatGPT to do all these things. So you don't have to rack your brain if you are looking for how to write DAX formulas. DAX is usually the scary part for most people when they are learning Power BI, and ChatGPT can take that away, can take that fear away from you. Okay, so we are done with our transformation. So you come to this Home tab and you see this option that says Close and Apply. Click on that drop down arrow under it. You see three options. The first option, close and apply, means all these changes that we've done, apply it and close this Power Query. Let's go back to Power BI. The second option, apply, says all these changes that we've done, apply it, but still remain here in Power Query. I still want to keep on working. Then this option, close, means discard all the changes that we've done and take me back to Power BI. So the option we want to choose is what? Close and apply. There are sometimes you do transformations and you would can spend over 1 hour, in fact, up to 2 hours doing transformation, especially when you have very, very data sets, very, very dirty data sets. I remember I was working for one organization, just like a volunteer. Um, it's not a real job. So just I volunteer to help them do. So we built like a map on Power BI. It's a dynamic map. So they needed people, they wanted to connect people that had cars with people that needed rides in their organization. Okay. So we created a map and uh we used different color coding for those people that need ride and those people that have cars. So we did color coding, we did different color coding for them on the map. So on the map, you can easily see somebody that has a car and another person that needs a ride beside that person. And if you over on every of those data points, we designed that tooltip such that the phone number, the address, the information of the people who need ride and the people that have cars, you see them together. So you can easily link those people together. So when I was giving that, when I was giving that data set, they sent a survey to them. Oh, do you have a car? How many cars do you have? So people were putting in funny answers. Some people will say, "Oh, I don't have a car, but I'm hoping to get a car next year." The question is just, do you have a car? Yes or no? Some people say, "Oh, I'm hoping to have a car next year." Some people say, "Oh, I'm trusting to buy a car next year." So you see, different people with funny response. So when you have that kind of data set, you will spend hours on Power Query trying to clean up data, right? So that could have been avoided. We could have put in something called data validation, whereby you can only select yes or no. You can't impute answers by yourself. So eventually the data was too messy. We couldn't work with it. I had to create a new form for them, put in data validations, and they sent it out to them again to get an updated one. So there are times you have very, very messy data set. You spend hours. If you spend hours cleaning that data set and you mistakenly press close, and you don't press close or apply, all the work you've done is gone. That's why I'm explaining the difference between these three. So you should be selecting close and apply to retain your work and go back to Power BI. So we're going to select close and apply. Then it's going to load all our changes and it takes us to Power BI. So if you want to see the data set, you want to see what the data set looks like, you come to this place that says what's table view. Currently, we are in the report view, right? So you come to this table that says table view and you click on it. So once you click on it, it brings you this page. It looks like an Excel, your typical Excel field. But the difference is that you can't click and type data inside. See, I'm typing, nothing will work. You can't do it unlike how you can edit its cells in Excel. You can't do that here. Can't do that here. So we have segments, we have country, we have product discount bound, manufacturing price, number of units sold, sales price, gross sales, discounts, and the likes. So the first step you want to do, you have a data set. You need to understand what the data looks like. In the last class, the last webinar we had a data dictionary, right? So we could go back to that data dictionary to to see what each field represents. But in this case, we don't have a data dictionary. So we have to look at that data set and understand what is really going on. So normally how I do this, how I approach this, I'm going to show you how I approach uh, activities like this whenever I'm giving. So this one, I've not done it before. I was looking for the data set. I was like, oh, this is a very good data set. So we're going to work with this. I looked at the data set, like we're going to work with this. So I'll show you how, whenever I meet a new data set, how I approach it. That's what we're going to be doing here. So It worked for me very well, and I'm sure it's going to work for you too if you try it. So I look at data sets. If you click on this drop down, you see all the possible values that are available in each row, right? If I click on segment, I see, oh, we have about 5 segments, and there's really nothing special to do here. It's just showing us the number of segments we have. Go to the country as well, see all the possible countries that we have in this data set. Then you can close it. So you can do the same for products, the discount bound. So that means this discount bound is like you're putting, you're categorizing you're classifying the discounts based on how high or based on the value of that discount. For example, if you look at that means you can infer that this discount bound is related to this discount field. Look at $0 here, you have none. Let's scroll down to see where we start having values. 276, they gave you the discount bound of what? Low. So you can see our discount was put into different bands. Some people call it bins, B-I-N-S, bins. It's another data jargon that's very popular. So when you hear bins, buckets, band, they usually mean the same thing. Okay, so we're good with that. Manufacturing price, $3, units sold, sales price, gross sales. So we can see gross sales here. We can see sales here. What do you think? What do you think? Is that your currency changed to? Sorry, I'm just seeing a message from Manu. Your currency changed to pounds. Well, if you're in the UK, maybe your default settings is pounds, but I will show you how to. If you select any field, for example, mine is I'll answer your question now, Victoria. For example, mine is in dollars. I'm in Canada, so default settings is dollars, right? So if you want to change it, you can select the field you're interested in, and you immediately you select the field. This column tools ribbon, this column tools tab will open. Then you see this. You look at this page. You look at this ribbon here. You see this dollar sign. That's what's showing for me. Maybe it's showing pounds for you. You can click on that drop down beside it. I see all the currencies that we have and change it to whatever currency you have. So maybe for uniformity, you want to change your own to, if the values are the same, if you are seeing 32,370 and it's just the symbol that changed to pound, just leave it and let's work with it. You don't need to worry about that. It's not a real data set anyway, except it has converted it for you and you want to change it. So for Victoria's question, it says, how do you go back to Power Query if you missed a field you're supposed to transform? It's very easy. Just come to Home, come to your Home tab. You see this transform data. Click on that drop down under it. And you see two options, transform data, data source settings. Click on what? Transform data. Immediately click on transform data, it takes you back to Power Query. Okay, so I'm seeing gross sales. I'm seeing sales. Looking at this data, can you see any difference? I want you to look. Let me scroll down. What do you think is the difference between sales and gross sales? Because knowing the difference will allow you know what calculations, the appropriate field to use for the calculation you're going to do. And if you miss it, it's going to mess up your data. So what do you think? You need to know the difference between gross sales and sales. What is the meaning? Can you see any pattern looking at the data on its own? I want somebody to talk. Just look at it. If you want to unmute or instead of type, just raise your hand. I will mute you and you talk. What do you think is the difference between sales price, gross sales and sales? Godwin, I've asked you to unmute.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah.
I think the difference between sales and gross sales is the fact that for gross sales, the discount factor has not been affected, while for the sales, the gross sales takes into cognizance the discount factor, while the sales, basically has taken away. It basically is a gross sales minus discount to give you sales.
Okay, you wanted to confuse me before, but you've laid yourself out. That's good. Okay, that's good. So is absolutely right, right? If you look at gross sales, when the discount is zero, gross sales and sales are exactly the same, right? They're exactly the same. But when we start having discount values, let's pull up our calculator. Let's pull up our calculator. Look at it. Let's take this one, for example, 2716 for gross sales, 27615 minus the discount, right? 276.15. It gives us 27338.85. So that means we can conclude that gross sales is what? Sales is what? Gross sales minus discounts. So gross sales minus discounts is what will give us what? Sales. Awesome. So I don't think there's anything we need to do here. Let's go to Power BI. It's just one table, so we are not going to be doing any modeling here. And um, Lillian said she can't hear me. Can is it that is that everyone? You can't hear me? Yeah. Okay. Sneha said she can hear me. Manu, you can hear me. Okay. Lillian, I don't know if you want to log out and log back in. Think I think it's from your hand this time around. Ah, thank you. Thank you guys for confirming. So let's start building, right? I remember the first thing we did before we started building our calculations in the last class. What was the first thing? I said it's a for those that were in the last class, that is one of the things you need to do. What do you think we should do? One of the cool things to do. Make your work easier. Make your work well arranged. Yes, we want to create a measure, but before creating a measure, let me just go straight to the point. I like to create like a container for that measure, right? Something like a container for that measure so that our measures are stored in one location. So how do I create that container? If you're on this home tab, right? If you're on this home tab, come to what we call what? Enter data. Come to enter data and click on enter data. Then you name it. And I like using a symbol before naming it. I name it what measures. You can name it anything you want. Some people name it DAX, some people name it measures, some people name it calculations. But I like putting a symbol in front. And it's not doing anything special. You see, it's just that let me load it, then you see what I'm talking about. Let me load it, you see what I'm talking about. And you see it's appearing at the top. This thing originally is arranged in alphabetical order, right? And F is supposed to come before M. But because I put a symbol in front, it will consider symbol before considering any alphabet. And now it looks like I have just two data sets there. So why do I need to worry about this one being at the top? Because this is not a normal work settings. If you are working, when you get to your company, like normal, usual work settings, you can have up to 30 data sets here connected, right? Up to 30 data sets. So instead of you to be looking for where you stored all your measures, right? Just let it appear at the top and you can see your measures here. So we want to create a set of calculations. And the first thing we want to do is we want to know what our revenue is. Now, I asked the question before, and there was a reason I asked the question. Now, to calculate our revenue, what field should we use? Revenue means the money you made, right? What field should we use to calculate our revenue and what approach should we take? Just a second. Hey, no. What field should we use to calculate our revenue? Revenue means money you made. Forget the cost incurred or anything. What is the money you made? The money that came in. Then later we'll start talking about, oh, so how much is our cost? We now take out our cost and do other calculations. But to know the amount of money we made, what field are we going to use? Is that sum of sales? No, no, profit is what you have after taking out costs, right? But you want to know the money, all the money that came into the company before cost or anything was removed, before all the expenses were deducted. Like, what is the money that came in? That the money that actually came into the company, how much is it? And which field are we going to use? So, Sneha, you're asking the correct question. But what do you think? So we have gross, some people say gross sales. Some people say that's good. Some people say sales. Manasseh wants to talk. Okay, I'm going to unmute you. I've asked you to unmute. You can unmute Manasseh. Yeah. Noza said quantity times price. Well, I can't say you are wrong. To be honest, I can't say you are wrong. But that calculation has been done for you already, so you don't need to do it. Um, Godwin, I don't know. You raised your hand. I asked you to unmute. You want to talk? So some people say sales. Some people say gross sales. Okay, I'm coming. So we know those that are sitting on the fence now. Okay. Okay. Yeah, select. The poll has come up to you. Let me see what people are choosing. And if there's anybody that is bold enough to talk about their response, the person should just raise up their hand. I would quickly unmute you. Then we'll go into our calculation so we don't waste a lot of time. Ah, okay. Oh, it's looking like a draw. Let's let the poll end. Then I'll just take 1%. I'll take I'll take one person that choose one person who should defend sales. One person should defend gross sales. So we'll do it that way. So we have 17 respondents. So once we have 20, if we get three more, I'll hand the poll now. Then we'll move to the main stuff. Okay. So the poll is going to end in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So gross sale wins. Okay. So you guys can see the results. Okay. Let's Now I want somebody for sales. I want somebody for gross sales. Godwin, quickly go. And
Okay. So
what's your answer first?
I was speaking for gross sales.
Gross sales.
So,
Awesome. Please go
yeah,
ahead.
you said so what we are looking at right now, the entire money the company made, everything, so this has to include both the discounts and undiscounted sums received. This is just taking into consideration the consolidated revenue, everything. Now no
Okay.
adjustments have been made here. So that's why
Awesome.
I tuned for gross sales. Thank you.
So sales, anybody from sales? Anybody from sales, just raise your hand. I'll locate you and unmute you. Anybody from sales? Victoria, team sales. Okay, I think I'm, yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, hi. So just my layman understanding here. If you say looking at sales, you would have applied discount. So ultimately is what you realize from the sales after you've applied the discount that comes into your pocket. That will be calculating your revenue generated.
Awesome. Okay, so we have one answer from everybody, so that's good. So the answer is sales. For those that chose gross sales, sorry. The answer is sales. Revenue is money that came into the company. If you have applied discount, the money is not coming to you. The customer will pay you the money less the discount applied. Okay, customer will pay you money less the discount. So the money that if you are selling something for $100, right? And you say, oh, you are doing 20% discount sales, right? People will come. Instead of paying you 100, they will pay you what? 80. So the money that came into your pocket is 80, not 100, because discount has been applied at the point of sale, not after sales were received, right? Discount was applied at point of sale. So revenue is sales, not gross sales. It's other things like costs that you will take out from revenue. But discounts has been applied at the point of sale before revenue came in. So the answer is sales, it's not gross sales. So to calculate our total revenue, we are going to calculate the sum of sales. Thank you. All right. Um, how do we calculate the measure? You just right click on that measures container that we created, right click on it, and you see a variety of options. But what you're going to select is what? New measure, new measure. So click on new measure, and this formula bar is going to appear. Let me zoom in so we can see. Now, formula bar is very simple. First thing you want to do is, what is the name? You can just erase everything here. What is the name of the thing we are trying to calculate? That is what you want to write. We want to call it what? Revenue. Revenue. Then you put your equal sign. Now, what do we want to do? We want to calculate the sum of the sales. What do you think the formula is to calculate sum of sales? What do you think the formula is? What do you think the formula is? What sum? Just like the name, the formula is what? Sum. So you just type sum, open the brackets, right? Then the name of the field is sales. If you don't even know, the way Power BI arranges it is, it will give you the name of the table. Then in bracket, you put the name of, in square brackets, you're going to put the name of the column. So it might be a long thing to be typing financials, because financial is the name of the table. Start typing everything. It might be a long thing. So just type the name of the field you are interested in. It's going to show you all the fields. When I say fields, I mean column. So don't get confused. In data analysis, when you hear fields, it's the same thing as what? Columns. Fields, columns, they mean the same thing. Let me quickly show you so you don't get confused. We'll go back to that. So see, these are what? Fields. These ones here are fields or columns. Then these ones here, like this, the horizontal ones, are called rows or records. So you see you see a lot of data professionals, they won't say how many rows, say how many records are there. So they use records more often than they use rows. So when you hear records, rows, record means rows, columns mean fields. For you to quickly remember, just know that records and rows start with RR. So anytime you hear records, know they're referring to rows. Then fields, they're referring to columns. So let's go back to our report view and right click on measure, click on what's new measure. Let's do that again. So we said the name is what? Revenue equal to. Awesome. So revenue is equal to sum, and let's type sales. So you see, it's giving you all the things that have what? Sales in them. So which one are we selecting? Is the first option. We are not using gross sales. We are not using sales price. We are using what? Sales, this first one. So you select this first one and you close your brackets. That's all. You press enter. That's all. You already have your revenue. And let's go back to our report view. Look at financials. I can see all the data sets here for that table financials. But if I click on measure, I can't see anything. Why? Measure does not live in your data set. They don't take up space. The way this data set is taking up space here, Measures don't take up space. What is measure doing? Measure is just like a window. You're saying, it's just like saying, oh, I want to see my sales, but I want to see it through this window. So I want to see it through this window in an aggregated way. So measure is just like a window, right? It's just like you have a screen, you're watching TV. That TV, that movie, that movie is not in your TV. It's sitting on the service of on the database of the service provider. Your TV is just like a window to that database for you to see the movie. It's not like if you open your TV, you see the movie inside. No. So your TV is just like a screen to give you access to that person's that's just how measure is. So measure don't take up space in your data set. So measures don't take up space. And so how do we see the measure that we've calculated? We've calculated revenue, but how do we even know what it is? That is where visuals come in. So you can select any of the visuals here. You can select any of the visuals here, but before that, let me quickly do something so it's very easy for us to see our visuals. Now that there's no data set here, I can click on this button, this middle button here, right? And I'll come to canvas background. Currently, the color is white. As you can see, this is color white. I want to change it to ash. Just click on this drop down and click this first color that says white 10% darker. Click on it. Nothing is happening, right? Then this transparency rate from 100% reduces to 0. So you see that it's an ash. We now have this like ash, or would I say gray color screen. So now let's look at our revenue. Let's even see what the revenue is. So I can click on any of these visuals here. Maybe this KPI. I like using, anytime I want to show those key metrics, I like using this one that says 1 to 3. So it's on, if you look at this visual, it's on the 5th row. The first item on the 5th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first item here. Can click on it. So I want to display my revenue with it. So select it and select your revenue, right? You can see what our revenue is. Another way is that you can come to this, your revenue here, click on it, hold it down, drag it and drop it here. It will also show. That's another way. Let me remove it. The third way is that you can select that particular field. Immediately you look at it, nothing is showing here now. If I select this field, you see this option that says fields. Now, nothing is showing. If I select this visual again, you see this option that says fields. I can drag this revenue and come and drop it here. It will also show. So those are 3 ways you can use it. So revenue is showing me $118.73 million. Awesome. We might want to read, it's looking too big. You might want to reduce the size of this figure and everything inside. So you can click on this. Once you click on it, come to this visual here. There are 2 options: call out value, category label. What's call out value? Call out value is this 118.73 million that you're seeing here. Category label is revenue as written under it, right? So you can come to this call out value. Let's reduce it to maybe 30. Yeah. And I think we are good for now. We'll do all adjustments later. So yeah. Now let's do another calculation. I want us to calculate we calculated the total revenue. Let's calculate what? Total costs, right? Come here, right click on that measure and click on new measure. Same way, how do we calculate total costs? You come to, let's call it total costs equal to, then you sum of what is cost. You see that field that says COGS. I think is an accounting term, right? It's called cost of goods sold. So that is what is your cost. It's called cost of goods sold. So COGS, this is our costs. So profits, how do we calculate profits? There's already a field here. Okay, before we do that, let me quickly display cost as well. So instead of clicking on this visual and starting it again and reducing it to size 30, I can take this one, Control C, Control V, copy and paste it here. Then I'll select it and come to the field and cancel the revenue that is there. And I will bring what? Cost. So by that, in using that method, you don't need to start doing the formatting again, especially when you change color, you change all those things, and you want to use the same thing for another field. Just copy and paste it, cancel whatever is there, and replace it with the new one, which is what? Cost in this place. So revenue is 118.7 B. Cost is over 100 million. From this already, you can know that this company is not managing, has a very, very high cost, because how will I make revenue of this amount? And my cost is this. But anyway, we'll get into the detailed analysis very soon. So how do you calculate profits, right? There's already a field in the financials table that is profits. We can just do the sum of the profits to get our uh, profit. You can also do, if you already know, if you're familiar with finance, right? You know your profit will be what? Revenue minus cost. We're going to do both methods and you will see if you get the same answer. So let's calculate profits. Click on new measure. Let's call it total. Let's just call it profits anyway. Or let's say total profits. Just name it whatever you like. Total profits. And we can call, let's try sum of what? The profit field, right? Let me do another calculation. New measure. Let me use this. Let's call it total profits 2. Total profits 2, right? Put the 2 beside it. Let's say this one is what? The revenue that we've calculated already, the revenue measure that we've calculated, let's do it revenue minus total cost, right? So if you want to refer to a measure that you calculated already, just press this square bracket. When you press that square bracket, the open part of it, the left one, is going to show you all the revenue you've calculated already, all the measures you've calculated already, sorry. So it's easy for you to just pick from those measures. Instead of having to, if I type R now, it's going to show me all this nonsense. I'll now start typing it in food. I know it's revenue I'm looking for. So you can just open this bracket and it will show you all the measures you've calculated already. So what we want to do is what? Revenue minus costs. So let's look at both of them. Let's see if we get the same answer. So I can just do the same thing, copy and paste, Control C, Control V, copy this one here, select this one, cancel this total cost. Let's put total profits. See, I made the revenue of one of this amount and we made a profit of $16.89 million. Anyway, let's look at this. And this is not outrightly bad, right? It depends on the sector. For an oil and gas sector, this might not be a bad profit. Or for a petroleum marketer company or a petroleum marketing company, this might not be a bad profit. When I'll take petrol from I obtain gas from a company and I resell and I make this profit. So profit is, you can't say profit is bad or good, depending on the company anyway. So let's look at the second one. Let's cancel and look at total profits too. Can you see it's the same thing? So summing the price or doing revenue minus total cost, can you see it got the same answer? So we're just going to be sticking with total profits. We don't need that total profits too. Anyway, now we've calculated our profits and everything. Let's look at, let me drag this here. I have a lot on my screen, sorry. Let's put this here. So let's know the total units sold. We've sold a lot of stuff, right? We have a field called units sold. Let's know the total number of units that were sold, right? Let's know the total number of units that were sold. So we have, after this one, we'll calculate just one more. Say, let's call this one total units sold. equal to total units sold. We have that's sum of just type units. Close it up. Press on. Now the last measure I want us to calculate is called profit margin. How can you calculate profit margin? What do you think? Now I'm not asking for DAX formula. I'm not asking for the Power BI formula. What do you think? What do you understand by profit margin, and how do you think we can calculate profit margin? What do you think is profit margin? And Sneha says my cost shows 16.89. Is that your cost or profits? That can be your cost. Profits. Yeah, if it shows that way, you can come here, right? Can you see when you come here, it's currently showing auto, right? This auto, you can set it to immediately you select that your profit, whatever you're interested in, that profit, it's going to open up this measure tool here, and this ribbon is going to be displayed. So you can change it to what? 2 decimal place and press enter immediately to align to 2 decimal place. If you want to round it, if you want to use 0 decimal place, it's going to work for you and round it up. Okay, but you can just set it to 2 decimal place. I think 2 decimal places is I mean, it's just okay. So now profit margin means, oh, I want to know. So this is how it is. And I'll show you the important, I'm going to explain the importance of profit margin. For now, profit margin is your total profits divided by your revenue. Okay? Your total profits divided by your revenue. So profit margin is like, oh, this revenue that we've made, what percentage profits did it yield for us? So profit margin is used to know how profitable a company is. And I'll give you an example. Let's say you are working, there are two companies, right? In the same sector. And they both made revenue of $100 million. $100 million. But this person, company A made $100 million, company B. Oh, okay, company A made $100 million. Company B made $200 million, right? But the profit margin of company A is 30%. The profit margin of company B is, no, don't let me put it that way. Let me do it this way. Let me show you an Excel. We have two companies, right? Companies. I will try to zoom in so we can see it clearly. So we have company A, company B. Profits. So we say revenue, profits, then profits margin. Good. Okay. This one made $100 million. Let's see this. This one made $200 million. So I made profits of 50 million. So I made profit of 30 million. Which company is more profitable? So you've seen revenue, you've seen profits. But which company do you think is more profitable? Looking at it prima facie, looking at it like this, which company do you think is more profitable? Company B, awesome. Another person, company B. Another person. Which company is more profitable? Let's get more responses. Company B. Manu says company B. Francis says company B. So company B is more profitable. Now let's calculate their profit margin. The profit margin is profit divided by revenue, right? Right. And let's express it in percentage. Look at the profit margin. Profit margin is 30%. This one is 25%. So with profit margin, you can tell the profitability of the company easily. Profit margin means with 100 million, this company use 100 million to make what? 30 million. This company use 200 million to make 50 million. That means if this company can use 100 to make, if they maintain this profitability of 30%, if their revenue next year is 200 million, they will make 60 million in profits. Do you understand? If this profit margin remains constant for both of them next year, right? So profitability means how you can use the revenue that you have to return the amount of deposit you can use it to return. Okay, in this case, so this one can use 100 million to return 30% revenue. So I can return just 25% revenue. So with profit margin, you can easily tell the profitability of a company than using just profits. That is the importance of what? Profit margin. So let's go ahead and calculate our profit margin. So right click on new measure. And this time around, we'll call it what? Profits margin. So we use the function called divide. And what is on top? The numerator is what is on top, right? It's profit. We want to do profit divided by. So we've already calculated profits, right? Just press the square brackets to bring out your profits. So let's just use total profits. You can use profits too. That's if you calculated profit too anyway. You can use it as well. So once you type in the numerator, see it says, look at the function divide. Put numerator. So this numerator is the one that is highlighted. That means what you are currently entering is what's numerator. So once you put this comma, it tells you to enter what? Denominator. So let's put this comma, and it says we should enter the denominator. The denominator in this case is what? Is revenue, because we are doing profit divided by revenue, right? So type our revenue. Then in cases where there are no answers, what do you want it to put it? Just say no profits. Or you can just leave it blank and don't put anything. You can just leave it blank like this after putting revenue and just close your brackets. Anyway, so we've calculated our profit margin. So now let's show our profit margin at the top. We've shown let's display our total units sold. Let me copy and paste. And it's going to give us some problems, but we're going to fix it quickly. Let's cancel total profit and put what's total units sold. Now it's showing me, oh, it's awesome. Total units sold is showing that we sold what? 1.13 million products. That's units sold. And the profit margin, let's cancel this and put what profit margin. Profit margin is 0.14, but profit margin should be expressed in percentage. So you select that profit margin and change it to what percent. Once you select that profit margin here on the right, you're going to open this measure tools here and you change it to what you can click on the drop down. It's usually on general and change it to percentage, or you can just see, you just see percentage here. Just click on what percentage and it changes to what percentage for you. So we have 14.23%. This company has a poor profit margin, but anyway, like I said, it's industry specific. For a oil marketing company, 14.23 profit margin might not be that bad. For an e-commerce company, they might be aiming for something higher. So you really can't say. We don't have the context of where this company is operating from. So now we have this revenue, total cost, total profit, and everything. Now we have these key metrics. Now let's break them down by dimensions that we have. What are dimensions? Attributes that are in our data sets. So let's click on that financials. We have segments, we have country, we have products. We're not really going to be doing much on discount bound, but we're going to be focusing on these three important ones: segments, country, product, and the date dimension. Good. Let's start. The way I work, right? I will open different tabs. because I've seen all the dimensions I want to work with, right? I'll break down some on segments, some on country, some on products, and yeah. So I'm going to do those ones. So the first one, we just do something on. Let me call the second one page 2, right? Click on that page 2. We'll do something on segments for it. For that page 3, we can do something on. For that page 3, let's do something on country. And page 4, let's do something on maybe products. But anyway, we'll just have a one-page summary at the end of everything. So the first thing I want us to do, I want us to look at a line chart. Let's look at the trend of the sales. If you look at the data, they started, let me come to this date. If you click on that this arrow here and click on what sort ascending, let's see where the first date is. And if you click on this, you can scroll down. You see from September 1 towards December 1, 2014. So they started in 2013, ended in, like the data is from 2013 and up to December 2014. Okay, let's see the performance of the company over time. When you want to say performance of company over time, it's what we call what? Trend. And the best type of chart to use to display trend is called what? The line chart. Whenever you're displaying trend, use what? Use line chart. So I've selected the line chart. Let me do that again. Line chart is the first item on the second row, right? Let's select this line chart. And here, what do we want to see now? Let's see the sales. Let's see the profits. Let me click on total revenue. Let's click on revenue, right? And let's also see profits. Now, you'll be like, oh, but you said this thing in the line chart. Why am I having 2 dots? Yeah, just calm down. Those things that we selected, they're already on the y-axis. And if you know how to plot graph, you know you need x-axis and y-axis. So for x-axis, we want to show something over time. What field are we going to have in the x-axis? Is the date field we're going to have. So you click on this financials, and this date field, bring it here to x-axis. Yeah. So why am I having year, quarter, month, day? We are not really interested in those stuff. We just want to see the year and the month because we know it's from September 2013 to December 2014. So I come here, I can delete this quarter. I really don't need the quarter. I don't need the day. I just want to see the year and the month. Awesome. Now, the data is looking funny. I have September 2013. There's nothing like October. I have November, no December. Why is it showing me this way? It's currently displayed in what we call, it's currently displayed as a continuous data. Let's make it a categorical data. So it's going to show us everything. I want you to choose each month of the year here as a category. So how do we achieve this? I'll come here, click on this, make sure you click on this visual. Come to the middle button that says format your visual, right? Come to this place. And under x-axis, come here. You see type is what? Continuous, right? Let me take that again. Click on this. Click on this button here. Under x-axis, come here and change it to what? Categorical, right? So once you change it to categorical, you can see we have 2013, December, October, November, December, September, October, November, December. And for 2024, you can see the rest. So we have this here. Let me bring in data label. So let's come back to this. Okay. You can see this 2013 and the months. We don't need anything telling us this is month. Everybody knows January is a month. So we don't need this month, this thing here. We can turn it off. And how do you turn it off? You click on x-axis here, and you will come down. You see what's title, turn off title. The same thing, the title of this chart will already tell us that it's revenue and profit by, I mean, we'll change it to something better. We won't use by year month, but the title will tell us what the chart is about. So we really don't need revenue and total profits here. And we can see from the legends here, revenue is blue, total profit is this purple that we have here. So we can change it. We can turn off this one as well. Come to y-axis and turn it off. Turn off titles. It's titles we want to turn off. If you turn off values, all this $10 million, everything you see here will be turned off. That is not what we want. We want to turn off what? Title. Then I think we are good. Can reduce this. Let's reduce this. So because of time, normally what I usually do, right? What I usually do, all the key metrics that I'll focus on segments, right? Maybe let's just quickly do that. I'll focus on segments, right? I'll come to, I'll take this cost clustered bar charts. Let me start with the table. If I take this table here, and I'll now display all the key metrics for segment. I'll first put what segment. So let's come here under financials. Let's look for segments. Click on segments. You can see the segments here. Awesome. Let's display all these things. Let's see the total units sold. You can see the total units sold for each segment. Click on total profits. You can see the total profits. Easily, you can already spot that, oh, this enterprise made a loss. They made a loss. Look at what they sold. They sold a lot of products, but they made a loss. Let's look at costs. Total cost. Let's look at revenue. I think I like looking at revenue, costs, profits first. Then before now look at the units sold. And let's look at profit margin. Good. So we can easily see it here, but it's not very easy to detect which ones are performing better, which ones are the highest, which ones are the lowest. It's not easy with table visual. I mean, you can see the values here, but you can't. The information is not shouting at you. And the purpose of charts and reports is dashboard and report is that people look at them, and within few seconds they can already get the gist of your data set. It's hard this way. You have to be looking at this one by one. Okay, this one made 1.8. So is this 1.8, is it the lowest or the highest? You now start trying to compare. Doesn't make sense. That's where we use what all these charts and everything. So if I bring in, let's bring in column charts, for example, this clustered column charts. And let's select segment and total units sold. This is how I work when I'm working with a new data set, right? So I will break all those key metrics and I'll break down by segment. So we can see total units sold. To make it clearer, let's add the label so we can see the quantity sold there. So I can click on this, come to this middle button here, and you see this one that says data label on its own. And you can see the amount. This one sold 0.47 million. That's 470,000. This one sold like almost the same thing with this one. Can you see that? You can see easily. Let's say you're looking at this table and you're looking at total units sold. It's very easy to see that government sold the highest here than trying to compare the figure one by one. Very, very easy with this chart. So I will just quickly do the same thing for all the other measures. So I just did copy and paste. Copy and paste. So let me change this one, select this one, and come to this place. Let's remove total units sold and use what? Total profits this time around. See the profit that governments made. See the profit that this one made, just for different segments. Let me select this other one, remove total units sold and focus on total costs. Then come to this one. Maybe I think I'll still need one more. Come to this one, remove total units sold and put for revenue. Full revenue. And lastly, this one, remove total cost and put what? Profit margin. So this is what I like to do. I like to do break everything down one by one. So I'll do it for segments, I'll do it for country, I'll do it for products, but I'm not going to, you guys, when you're working, you can easily break them down. Then we will now pick the one that carries the best info. Maybe you want to present a summary. You can't show everything you have in one dashboard. It's not going to make sense. So you now pick up the most important piece here. Oh, because let's say you want to present to executives, you can't be showing them all this is one by one. This is a rough work. It's your rough work for your own exploration. What I'm doing now is called what? Exploratory data analysis. I'm looking at them one by one. So it's a rough work for you. You can't just show this to them. So you're going to pick the most interesting of these visuals or the most important. You now put it together in one page and present what your dashboard to them or your report summary. You can also have up to 3 pages of reports. That's doable as well. So you can see we have revenue by segments. Look at it. Units sold. Government sold a lot. They sold highest. Look at revenue. Government made the highest revenue. Government made the highest profits. And But if you now look at profit margin, government was the third. Channel partners had 73% profit margin. Can you see how you cannot easily tell this by looking at this table or by just looking at the data? That's how data analysis will help you with this information. If you are a business owner and you see this kind of performance, that means government, all the money that government is making is going into cost. Probably because government usually have a lot of government will have a lot of staff, right? So maybe this cost will go to salaries and maybe government projects and everything. Fine, government is they're selling a lot. The segment government is selling a lot. They are making a lot of profit. But if you look at it, profit margin of government is 21%. That means if government makes, if they sell $100 million today, their profit will be like $21 million. But look at channel partners. Although channel partners didn't sell as much as governments, they sold around 16 million. They sold around 0.16, that's 160,000 units, right? They made a profit of $1 million. But look at their profit margin. Look at their sales. Channel partner, the only thing they sold was what? $2 million. Let me expand this so we can see the full value, because this value is not showing. For example, look at this 1.1 million is showing $1 million. This is also showing $1 million. And you can see the bar. The bar is almost double of this one. So let's increase the precision. When I say increase the precision, it means increase the like decimal places to see what we have. Let me increase this. These are things you can do when you're working. Let's come to data labels here. Come to value. It's currently on auto, but let's say it should not display it in units. Let's say it should display it in thousands. Or let me just try none and let's see. This is not the best, but let's just look at this. I think I even like it better this way. Look at this. Channel partners made around what? $1.3 million. And this one that was approximated to around $1 million before is actually $660,000. You see how approximation can really mess up things. Let's see if this will work here. Okay. Let me change 3 of them. I can select the 3 of them and change them at once. Let's see. Data labels, value, and display units turn it towards none. Let's see. Good. For this one, if it's going to be better if it's comma separated, because you can't easily tell is this 47,000 or 470,000. Can easily tell. So for the total units, if you click on this and click on comma, it's going to be comma separated, which makes sense. Awesome. So look at channel partners. This is where I'm going. Look at channel partners, for example. Channel partners, they sold, look at it. The money they made is $1.8 million. And their profit is $1.3 million. Look at their profit margin, 73%. If you're an investor, where will you invest your money? You know, like if I invest $1 million, their profit margin is $73 million. It's 73%. If I invest $1 million today, I'm getting a profit. If their profit margin remains constant, I'm getting a profit. If I invest $1 million today, I'm getting a profit of around $730,000. If I invest $10 million today, I'm getting a profit of around $7.3 million. So what do you think is the most important factor here? Is the profit margin, not the profit they are making. So the amount, the way they are using their money, profit margin will show you that information. So in this case, you can see that channel partner is a very, very important company. So instead of doing all this together again, look at what I would do. So I want to do everything for product. I'll press Control A, copy everything. Control C, I'll come to this country and paste everything here. It's still for product, Abi. It's for segments. So let's select the table. If I select the table, currently it's showing segments. I will delete that segment and bring country. Drop country here. So let it show for country. So you don't have to start putting all the charts one by one again. Changing this one to start showing in comma. You don't have to go through that stress again. You can just copy and paste and replace values. So this is how I approach data that I'm seeing for the first time. So this one too, let's change everything. So it's so sad that you can't change it at once. I would have loved it if that was possible. We just select everything and change it at once, but we have to change, sadly, we have to change it one by one. Take our segment and replace it with country. Come here, take our segment, replace it with country. This is not a dashboard. Don't worry, our dashboard is going to look better than this. Come here. Let's take our segments, put country. Come here, take our segments and put country. Good. So for country, we can see the performance of the countries. You can see Canada sold the highest units, right? But in terms of profits, France made the highest profits. Even though despite the fact that France sold lower than Canada, France made more profits than Canada. And let's look at profit margin. Even though Germany sold the lowest, they had the highest profit margin. And in terms of cost, United States incurred the highest cost. So the same thing, let's just copy everything and let's break it down by product as well, right? And change it and replace country with products in this case. So we can see product level performance. We can see which products are doing best. So this one changes to country, from country changes to products. We can see easily that this Pasio is selling like fire. So let's change this to products. Let's change this from country to products. Change this to products. Can expand this and change this to what's products. See, so easily, just a second. Okay, so we can see here easily products are making the most money. In terms of sales, in terms of units sold and sales, Pasio is doing best. But if you look at it in terms of cost as well, they have the highest cost, right? And in terms of profit margin, you can see Amarilla has the best profit margin. So let's present our findings on a single dashboard. We want to show all our key metrics like the revenue, our cost, the total units, total profits, total units sold, and another key metric, which is profit margin. We want to show our trend. From this trend, what can you really say about this trend? Because your job as a data analyst is not just about showing visuals. Your job is about sending information, right? It's about relaying information. What can you say about this trend? What do you think about their performance from inception to the current point? The first thing is that there's a lot of this blue line is what is revenue. This purple line is profits. You can see that there's a lot of variation in their sales. Their sales is not stable. This month they are low, this month they are high. Later they are low, they are high. There's a lot of variation in their sales. You can't really bank on, because if you look at it here and you say, oh, we are now doing look at it for revenue, we are now doing $9.5 million. But 2 months later, we are back to doing $5.8 million. Then again, we are back to doing, record sale of 12.3. Then even that same month that we did record sale of 12.3, the following month, we're already back to 5.3, which is like almost our lowest. So there's a lot of variation in their sales. Their sales is not stable. So these are the insights you are getting from the data set. You tell them, they have a lot of variation in their yeah, exactly, no sir. But you say overall profit revenue has increased from starting point, because if you look at that starting point, it's below $5 million, 4.4. Even despite the fact that they're going up and down like roller coaster, right? They've never gone below where they started from. So you say generally the company has experienced an upward trend in what? In sales. Same thing, ditto for what? Ditto for profits. But there is a lot of variation in their revenue, and the company needs to look into the operation to see why we are having low performances after hitting peaks. Anytime we hit a peak, the next thing is go down. Why is it happening? The company needs to do more findings. They might need to collect more data to find out why this is happening. But overall, the company has done better from where they started from, but there's a lot of variation in their sales. So before we put together all the insights and recommendation, let's put together a dashboard. I don't know what dashboard to do. Like I said, I like doing everything from scratch. So I want somebody in the chat to give us a color theme. Then we'll work with that color theme. I don't like having a dashboard to work with. I like starting from fresh. So anybody should just give us a color theme. Last week, our color theme was navy blue. And from navy blue, we built, this was what we built last week. Let me see if I can bring it up. This was what we built. That's what we built last week. So our color theme was navy blue. From navy blue, I'll show you what to do. Let's get the color theme first, then I'll show you how to get colors that will blend in with navy blue. So this was our color theme last year, and this was what we built last week. So let's pick a color theme. Somebody should give us let's Q garage color theme. Okay, let's go to let me see if I have this picture here. So black and gold. Black and gold. Black and gold. Okay, let's see. So let's go to Google. Let's say black and gold color palettes. So that means if you want to use black and gold, see the colors that will blend in well with it. These are the colors that will blend in well with it. So instead of you trying to find out which color is black, what's the color for black, what's the color for gold, you can easily. Oh, okay. Somebody said sky blue before skill garage color team. Okay, let's just choose one color. We have 3 different colors, and let's just pick one and settle for it. I didn't see the sky blue color before seeing black and gold and Nusa's comment. Okay, let's pick a color and let's quickly build this dashboard. So we have 111. If I can get somebody, if I can get 2 against 1 on any of the colors, we'll go with that. So let's make it fair. If I can get 2 against 1 on any of the colors, we'll go with that color team and we'll build this. So far we have sky blue, skill garage, we have purple. Purple. We have 2 against 1 on purple. Why you guys doing like this? Let me just purple 3 in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8. The highest number we just pick down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 3. What am I counting? Oh my God. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So purple color palette. Let's see. Okay. Let's pick on more. Let's see how we can blend out purple to make it go well. Okay, this is looking good. I'm looking for I'm trying to choose one I'll prefer. Okay, so we use this color. So let's start. Let's see. I think I also have some. I think purple color palette is actually great. Okay, so let's start. I don't have let's hope I have inspiration for. Let's see. Let's call it summary page. Summary. So how do we start? Um what's the idea? What should we start with? What should we start with? What should we start with? So these are the visuals we have. So the key visuals we want to, let's decide on the visuals we want to use. We need all these 5 that's given. We want to have, just a second. Okay, we want this is good. We want this. We want to have this, we want to have this 5. We want to also see which of these for products. I want to have this table for products table to break down products. Usually good to break down product by table and see everything. So we want to have this table as well. So I want to have this table. Okay. What else are we picking on our dashboard? What other important information? For country, we want to see the revenue, the countries that are giving us the highest revenue. And so let's do a clustered column chart of revenue and costs for country. So we have revenue. Let's put cost by the side. Let's do it this way. A chart of revenue and costs. But we reduce the data label. It's not looking good. So how did I get this? Sorry, I took that too fast. This is the current chart, right? We have revenue here. On this x-axis, wants to, because it's the clustered column chart, the third one on the first row, you can show 2 metrics side by side, right? So under this revenue that we have here, I can bring costs and drop it under it. So it's going to show revenue. So you look at the legends to know which is which. The revenue is what this light blue, and purple is what our cost. So if you look at the figure, it's not making sense. It's like too much. We could reduce depreciation. So come here, come to data labels, under value, let's change this to millions. So let it break it down into millions like this. So let's copy this. We also have this one. We'll show our revenue. So maybe we should show one more thing. I think revenue by country. We need any information on segments. Let's see profit margin. I would like us to see the profit margin for segments. Yeah. So we'll display the profit margin for segments. Let's see, do we have space for one more? So if you have this up here, you have table up here, and we have this too. Let's see one more, but I don't know if you have space for it. If you don't have space for it, we'll just display what we have. I also want to have like a donut. Oh, sorry. So I want to have like a donut chart. Let's see uh the unit sales for discount band, right? Let's see the unit sales for discount band. Like where did for which this type of discount did we sell the most? As you can see, high is about 35%. Medium is, that means the higher the discounts, the higher the purchase. People are buying more when the discount is high, which is expected, right? So let's see if we can get all this together to fit on the dashboard. And yeah, let's go. So first thing we want to do, we'll need, what do we do? Let's have a gray background, or maybe not a gray. Let's go back to that color palette. I want like a lighter shade of purple background, lighter shade of purple. Let me open this in new tab so we can retain this one here. This was not what we picked. Where's the one that we picked before for purple? So let's duplicate this. Oh, all right. Purple color palette. So images, that particular one. So let's open this one in a new tab. Then there's another one that has a lighter shade of purple. I think I like that one. So when you are picking, you want to pick the one that the X codes are included in them. Okay, this one. So this is what I'm looking for. This lighter shade of purple. Okay, yeah, this is better. So we also want to make sure the X codes are included. So this X code are these codes you can see under here. So this particular one, I like it. I'll copy the X code. That's what we use for our background. So let's go to our Power BI. Come to this canvas background, change the color, and click on what more colors. So under this place that you have #FFF, just copy and paste your X code there. Set the transparency to maybe we make it a bit lighter. Yeah, this is good. So this is where I want to start from. And let's have maybe like our filters here. Have our filters here. I'm trying to get inspiration. So let's bring in a shape, insert shape, a rectangle. Let's give it, I want it to have the regular purple color. So let's change the shape. Let's give it maybe 15% rounded corners. And under style, let's turn off the border and let's look at our purple color here. Let's have this luxury purple, or maybe this one. Yeah, maybe this one. Copy the X code. It makes your work easy. You don't have to be looking for the color manually. Let's copy this one. Come to think of it, I've never worked with purple before. This is my first time of working with purple. My favorite color is navy blue. And I'm working with this. My favorite color is navy blue. Okay. Maybe let's start this one here. Good. We'll need something for the top that says financial summary. Okay. Maybe we'll copy and paste this. Okay. Let's copy and paste this. No, there's no copy. Let's not do that. So let's have let's have another shape. Copy and paste. This time around, let's turn this one to white. So it's going to give us, it's going to come out softly from this one in the background. So let's come to effects. Let's change this to what? No, let's select the shape. Style. Let's change this one to white. So we have maybe we'll have some for our key metrics that we have here. We have 5 of them. So let's have 5 of those. Let's get them in the shape that we want. 5. Let's see if we can duplicate this. Control C. So just do this, do this, do this, do this. We have 5 now, right? We have 5. Let's pick the last one here. So I want it to be like equally spaced, all of them, right? How do I do it? I will select the first one, hold down Control key, select everything together, right? I will come to formats. I'll say align top. I want all of them to start at the same level, right? For example, look at, you see it's better here. Let's say this one, let's say they were like this, scattered like this, right? And I want all of them to be at this level, at this first one is, right? let's say here, I'll select the first one, select everything. I'll come to formats, align up. So it's going to align it with the first one you select, right? Now, some of them are overlapping. We want them to be like equally distributed. Let me put this one towards the edge here. Want everything to be equally distributed. So you select everything and come to formats, come to this align. I see this option that says distribute horizontally, right? Select that option. And you can see that there is equal spacing in between all of them. Okay, so let's look at our visual again. We need space for this one. So we need space for this one. Okay, I think it's okay this way. So what do we want to do? Let's bring in this ones first. This 5. Let's turn off their background. Come to this place. I want to select the 5. Come to general. Under effects, turn off their background, right? And under this color value, let's change the color to what can we change the color to? We can use black. Let's retain black and let's retain black and the color label. Let's see if we can use a lighter shade of purple. Let's see if it will work. Let me see if there's a lighter shade of purple that we can use here. Maybe this one or the rollout label, right? So use the lighter shade of purple and let's see how it will work here. Let's paste it here, track them. Let's reduce the font size a little. It's a bit big. So the callout label, I think that's okay. Let's put it at 10. And the color value, let's set it to maybe 25. Yeah. So something's already wrong. It's not looking great. Something's not looking great. And I'll show you something that is not looking good. If you look at revenue, it's faint. It's not very easy to read. So for readability's sake, we need to change the color. So sometimes you work with the color is not going to blend in with your color theme. So you need to change what the color is. So which color is also very good with this color theme that we can use? Let's see other options. Let's use the darker shade of purple. This 533A71. So let's come out to category label. Let's see if it's going to fly. 533-771. Yeah, this looks good. So total cost. There's a reason I'm placing them to the side. If there's enough time, I'll show you how to bring in logos. We'll use logos. Logos, take your dashboard, take your dashboard to another level. Show you how to download logos. There's a free site that we use. There's a free site that we use, but they've made the process. I'm sure the analytics team. It's people like you that are doing the work. They made the process more difficult, and the process because it's a free site, you can get like free options. But the way they are doing it, they made it more difficult that you'll be like, instead of this stress, let me just pay and get it. So it's the analytics team that are working. They're making it more difficult for customers to use their free version. And the idea is we don't want to lose customers, right? We don't want to say no more free version, but we will make it difficult for them. Let them use it. They will taste our service. They will enjoy it. But it's going to be so stressful for them to use the free version that because they love it, they will pay for it and get their value. So it's when I was working in my former organization, those are the things we did. And I was working in, it was like a retail store, but we only sell, it's an e-commerce store, but we sell legal documents. So we will give our customers free service, but we'll make sure their free trial will make it a bit difficult for them to use. So they will enjoy the service, but because of the stress in getting there, they would they will want to pay for the normal monthly version or yearly subscription. And again, we make the yearly subscription look so reasonable. Imagine you are paying something is charged monthly. If you are going to be charged monthly, you're going to be paying $30. And for yearly, you're just going to pay $100. Everybody will be like, instead of paying $30 per month, let me just pay $100 monthly. So by paying $100 monthly, we make more money because you've already paid us in advance and we're already looking for a new set of customers. So these are ways that we analysts come in. So I'm going to show you how to get those logos, and yeah, hopefully we will have enough time. We should have enough time. So we want to bring in this one as well. So the title is not making sense. Revenue and total profits by year. That doesn't make sense. A better name would be, so to change the title, this title that you're seeing here, select the charts, right? Once you select the chart, this is what you see. Come to this middle button. Under visual, you won't find it there. So you switch to general and you see what? Title. You can turn off the title so it doesn't have any title, right? You can just turn it on and change the title. Here you just say, let's just call it revenue and profits trend. That's a better name. Revenue and profits trend. And this color is looking so annoying. Doesn't make sense. Let's turn off the background first. Let's see a color that will go well. So come to, I think it's under, yeah, general effects, turn off background. So we have it here. Let's create a placeholder for it, like a background for it already. So let me select this white one that I've used before. Let me bring it in. Let's see if it's going to fit in here. Good. So let's bring it here, and I think this looks good. This looks big enough. So let's copy and paste this. So you see, I don't, so you see that I don't really know what to do. Like I'm just trying, like I'm just trying my best. I don't, before you guys brought up this, you guys brought up the suggestion. So I like doing something that I've not tried so that you will see the natural process of how to approach these things. So that's how I usually like taking the class. So we'll try something new that we've not done before. So at this, is this color not hot? This color is hot. But I've been calling this color purple since. Are you guys not correcting me? This is purple now. This one is not purple, and I've been calling it purple since. I thought I knew color. Okay, so let's look at the color that will blend in with our color team. This color is obviously off. If somebody presents this report to me, I can stone the person's laptop. This is not good enough. It's an eyesore. So let's get a better color. Let's look at the color combination that is going to go well. I think we can use any of these colors here, but I'm afraid that this one on a white background might not be very good, right? But maybe we can just limit it to these two. Let's use one for profit, one for profit and one for revenue. So this one is 879. I can't copy here, so I have to write it down. 8799B7. Somebody remind me. 8799B7. Okay, so let's come here. Let's change the line colors, right? You can come to what? Lines. Once you select it, right? Once you select it, come to this middle button and come to what? Lines. So you see under lines, you see all these things and you see color. Click on color. And currently it's default settings. That's why you see this slash here. But for you to activate the color, click on this. Why is this not working? Sorry, color. Okay, this is new. Lines. Oh, okay. Because we have lines, right? No, I don't have to select the line. It is because I put it under legend, right? If you look at it, this color, this legend here that you have here, is what is detecting this color. So because it's not one line, unlike the last class that we had just one line and we changed it under lines, here we have to change it under legend. So come to legend or not in legends, that's match line color. What's this one? No. Title. Okay, let's see. So how do we change color for multiple lines? It's been long I use this. Let's see. So let's make sure we're selecting this. So this is working for legend. Let's select this one. Okay. And let's go back to black. So the color goes well. Revenue and profits. So so lines. We don't have. Oh, okay. Okay. Now select it. And we'll come to, I remember now. Come to lines, right? So currently showing the lines for all the series. So it's counting each of them as a series, right? Showing them as for all series. So let's select the first one. First one is revenue, right? For revenue. Now let's go and change the color. Okay. So somebody borrow me that color. Oh, okay, Manu, thank you for this. Let's use revenue ash A799B7. Good. That's for revenue. And the second one will now come here, change it to total profits. Good. Then come to color and change the color for total profits. What's that other one? That's 533871. So let's call it 533871. Yes, this looks good. I just want to try something unusual. Let's look at this FDF or DC. Let's see if it's going to go first. Let's see if it's going to look nice. Let's come to lines again. Let's change it to revenue and change the color to Manu, your head is there for DC. This is terrible. It's not going at all. Let's just don't stick. Let's explore. Don't let us just stick to purple. Let's see other beautiful options that could come in. For purple, they said this one is a good color combination for purple. But why will you give us color palette and don't put the X code there? They're not helping us. So let's look at this one. Shade of pink is fine, though. But what's the X code? So we'll not be looking, so we'll not be searching. I mean, some of these websites can be so annoying. How will you put? But can you imagine this color here? Emerald goes with purple. Like on a normal day, how will you think of combining these colors together? But they said it goes. And we see. Should we try it? Let's see. Let's see. Is one candidate. Let me see if I can see. Okay, this shade of pink, F26378. F26. Manu, oh yeah, F26. 378. This is a beautiful color. It's not color riot. This blends in well with the color theme. It's not color riot. This blends in well with the theme. It's a good color for it, actually. Anyway, it's a good color. So sometimes on a normal day, I will not think of this color, right? Although that emerald grid, I don't want to agree, but maybe after this, I will not try it when people are here. I'll go and try it later to just see emerald grid and purple. Will it really go? Like, if you look at color palettes, right? You are going to see a lot of color combinations that's going to make your visuals pop, make it look good. Okay. Yeah, we have other things to bring in. Let's do that so we can close. And let's bring in the table. Let me create a placeholder for the table as well. Let me create this one. So we're creating a very simple report. So let me bring this one up a little. The title of the chart, let me change the title to black, currently on hash. Let's change. Okay, it's black. Yeah, let's change it to black, and let's reduce this a little. So we can reduce this and give space for the table visual. Can you see that I'm making sure they align well? Because that's the beauty of dashboard. If you have proper alignment, right? Making sure they align well. So let's bring this up a little. Okay, awesome. Then we can this and this. Maybe I should bring this in. Yeah, so they can join together. So let's bring this in. Can bring this in. So, okay, I think I know. I have a better idea. Oh, sorry. I have a better idea. Let's drag this one in. We just have simple dashboard like this. Simple design this way. Yeah, let's have a simple design this way. So this table, but it's not, can you see that it's not really making sense, the height of the table compared to what it's like. So you want to make it make sense, so you can cover space as well. So what we can do is you can increase this. Okay, I think so that's what happens. We are trying to do everything from scratch, but let's see if you can reduce this a little. If you can reduce this a little and increase this a little, come here. So you come to, once you select the table, you want to increase like the font size, come to the table, come to grid, right? So there are two ways. Under options, you can increase the row padding. That's going to spread the data for you, which I think is what we should do in this case. We can increase the row padding, right? Let's increase the row padding, or you can increase the font size, right? So if you just want it to spread without going wide, just increase the row padding and leave the font size, which is what we're going to do. Just increase the row padding here and not really mess with the font size. Let's leave it here. Yeah, I think this is good. And let me see if I can increase the font size to 11 and reduce the row padding a little. Okay. And let's still increase the row, let's still reduce the row padding a little as well. So this is good. So we have enough space for title here. That's why I'm reducing it. Okay. So this is good. Let me see if I can reduce this a little. Okay. Good. So we can reduce this. We can reduce this. So we can take this one out here. Use this, copy and paste. And you can have something like this. Make sure it's the same height. Awesome. So I think we have space just for two more things. Let's bring in this one. As usual, we want to turn off the background. So come here, come to general under effects, turn off the background. We don't want, so we have the title as profit breakdown of profit margin by segment. So we don't need to have profit margin here. We can already see the percentage of the profit margins here. We don't need to, we've already said profit by segments. So I don't need to have segments here. So I can turn off this title, can turn off this profit margin. So if I select here, come to this middle button, for y-axis, don't turn off the values, turn off what? The title. Same thing for x-axis, turn off the title. Then let's bring this guy here. Let's drag it here, and I think it fits more here. So we can change the color. The color obviously doesn't go well. Color obviously doesn't go well. Let's change the color to maybe this shade of purple. Let's change it to this shade of purple. Come here. Let us play with the colors. Let's see the colors that we think can go. Let's use the colors we've used before. It's not bad, but too dark. I think I prefer this one. Right? I think I prefer this one. So we can put the color here. And since this one already has a title, we can leave it this way. So we can look at the fonts of the title, right? Let's look at the font type. Under this title is what's DIN and the size 14. So we want to bring in a title for this table, right? So we can come here under inserts and bring in what text box. And let's say products, let's call it products details. Let's call it product details, right? Let's change, select everything. Let's change it to font size 14, right? And let's change it to that font of what's DIN. It's always good to maintain the same font size when you're working and the same font type. I mean, you can have up to 2 different font sizes, but it's good to limit it to 2. But this has the white background. Let's change the background. While it's being selected, come to effects and turn off the background. So background is usually under general, and you turn off, you go to effects. That's where you usually see what's background. But anyway, this one, even turning off the background wouldn't have mattered because we're putting it on the white background, so it doesn't really matter. I just like to do it in case I'm working with a different color theme. So this is here. And one more thing, we have one more thing to bring in. We don't have room for this one. We are doing a 1-page report. If we are doing like a standard report where we have 3 pages, each page will be focused on some of those dimensions. We have product details, country details, we'll have that breakdown, but we are just doing a 1-page summary. So let's bring out this one. Let me see. What if I change this to clustered column? Will it make sense? I think it's not bad. So I changed it to, instead of from this third one, I changed it to this 14. So I have like a clustered column, but let's see if the values will sit in well. The data labels are not sitting well. So we'll turn off the data labels for this one. We don't want it. Come here and turn off data labels. We don't want it. So country and revenue, let's turn this off. And let's remove the background. Come to effects, turn off background. Title, let's say revenue. Cost, or breakdown of revenue, and let's just revenue by cost, revenue and cost by country. Let's just have a simple title that way. Let's turn off this ones. Pretty routine stuff. Turn off this ones. And for the y-axis, turn off the title as well. So make the color make sense. right? This color doesn't make sense. Let's see a fine combination. Let's try this two combination. Let's see if it's going to make sense. So when we wanted to change color for lines, for under this ones, for this line chart, we went to lines. For this one, we went to bars. For this one, what do you think? Where do you think we will go to? We select this. Where do you think we will go to? This is the column chart. So go to what? Columns. Change the color. So currently, because it's a um, clustered kind of chart, it has two um, metrics being displayed. So we won't have the option to just choose the color directly. You have to select each one first. So we're starting with revenue, which is the bigger one here. Let's see if you could give it maybe this shade of purple. We'll try different colors that we can use. Maybe let me try. Let's try this one. And the other one, costs. Let's try this lighter shade. Nah, this doesn't go. I'm not feeling this. Let's change this one to maybe, let's say maybe this, and change this other one to a much lighter one. No, this goes, but it's too light. Let's change this one to, but this is how I play with colors at times until I get what I want. Let's change this one to purple, the lighter version of purple, and change this other one to um maybe to a much lighter one. Yeah. Yeah. So purple is not the best of my color, but I mean we didn't do bad. Let's see if you can change. I think these ones are good. Sure. So we need to quickly put in some of the filters. So in case we want to filter by country or some of these other dimensions, maybe we want to see for a particular country. So we can click on this slicer. That's if you come to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth row, the fourth item on the fifth row. Click on this slicer and I'll show you what the slicer can do for you. Click on country. Good. Before I design the slicer, let me quickly show you this. We'll design one and copy and paste for the rest. I only want to see this thing for Canada alone, right? All this performance for only Canada, right? I want to do it for Canada alone. Just click on Canada. And it shows us the performance for only Canada. We can see the costs and revenue and cost for Canada, right? You can see the revenue here. You can see the cost here. You see only for Canada. If I only want to see for France, click on France. So that is what slicers can do for you. So sometimes you're presenting it, they are like, oh, Canada seems to be doing well. Can you focus on Canada alone? Then you put in the slicer and focus on Canada alone. Or can we see Canada and France? You can hold down your control key after selecting Canada and what? Select France. You can see Canada and France is being displayed here. So that's how you can use slicers. And you can use this checklist kind of slicer. You can come here and change it, select the slicer, change it, come to slicer settings. You can change this to tiles. Tiles will come this way. You can have it this way, maybe this way. You can be selecting to see which country you want to do. I can even have it this way, so you can select whichever one you want, right? So, but I'm not going to use star. I'm going to use what? Drop down. So just like other visuals, you can format your slicers as well. Can come to general effects. Let's turn up the background. Um, so this is not clearly displayed. So let's change the values to what? Maybe let's change the slicer header. Let's change this to color white. Yeah. Okay, let me quickly do that. So this is how to bring in slicer. Slicer is the fifth item, is the fourth item on the fifth row. Click on it. And you put whatever field you want to slice by. You want to slice by country in this case. So you just put country here and you can select whatever country, whatever thing you want to slice by. And I want to change the kind of slicer that I want. So I'm selecting this field now. And if you mistakenly select Canada and you want to go back to the full settings, just click on it again. If you click on something and you want to uncheck it, click on it again to uncheck. So let's come here. I'm changing the slicer settings to drop down, which is what I want. I'm turning off the background. I'm just going to do it for one slicer, then we'll copy and paste for the rest, so we don't have to repeat. So slicer header is this country. Want to change the color to white. I think it makes sense that way for visibility. So we change this color to white. And you can click on the drop down. Yeah, you can see all the options that we have here. So we can also slice by let's see, Control C, Control V. Let's take out this time around, let's take out country. Want to slice by different products. So it will just maintain the same formatting. Control C, Control V. We also want to maybe slice by segments. Yeah, slice by segments. And the last one, want to slice by discounts. And let's see, put discount band here. So you can click on it and see whatever. If you want to see sales for only high discounts, you can see everything here across all countries, across all the dimensions we have on the data set. So you can do it that way as well. So we can have our slicers here, and you can also make the slicers well arranged. You can select everything together, come to format, align. You know, the last time we distributed horizontally, this time around, we want it to be equally spaced along this axis. So we say distribute vertically. And this way, it will give you proper alignment between the slicers. And what's a data set? What is report without a title? We need to put in the title. Let's just say, let's just give you something general. Let's just say performance summary. Don't need to rack our brain for. So it was in December. The data was up to December 2014. Let's say it's year-end performance summary, right? So let's just leave it at black, but let's increase the font size like 20. Let's turn off the background. Come to effects. Turn off the background, and probably let's make it bold. Okay, we also want to have a date slicer here. So if I click on this slicer and put in this our dates here, right? Let's turn off the background as well. And bring it here. I don't want this zoom slider. This zoom slider, whatever. I don't want this zoom slider here. I want people to just click on the calendar and select their start date and end date. Let me take out the zoom slider. I can come to this visual and see this slider. Let's turn it off and reduce this. So let's put a small insert text box. Let's say select dates range. Let's put something like this. Yeah. I think 10 is good. Let's make it bold. Right. Let's turn off the background.
Hello, Coach.
Yeah.
Good
Hi,
morning.
Mike.
If
Good
you can
morning.
just give me a minute, let me address the people. Let them know. Just a quick intermission, I'll be out of your way. But
Awesome.
just quickly want to let them know that how they can get to be with you for 10 weeks, basically.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. You have the floor, Michael.
All right. Sorry, guys. Sorry to bump into the fun you're having, guys. I could imagine someone just bumping in and seeing all of this now would be like, what the heck? Right? But for those of you who probably started off this session, probably would have been methodical up until this point, right? Very sequential up until this point. How is it going, by the way? How are we finding it, by the way? Good? Let me get some feedback, guys. You can put it in the chat. I know you are not able to say something, but just throw it into the chat. Let me know. At some point, I felt like there was a lot of color picking taking place here, and I felt like, oh, there should be a lady helping us with those pictures, with those colors. All right, it's been awesome. I love that. Awesome. All right, cool. I'm just gonna be quick and out, right? Just give me 2 minutes, 3 minutes. For those of you who know how to keep the time, maybe 3 minutes and I'll be out of your way. All right. Just gonna pick the screen quickly to let you know how you can register for the bootcamp. So this time next week, we will have the data bootcamp kicking off. All right. A couple of you have shown interest and a couple of you have spoken with me already with respect to joining the classes. We'll kick off next week. We need a minimum of 7 people to kick off. All right. And we want you to come in and see everything that we will be able to give you. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Now, like I said, I won't take too much of your time. Let's confirm that you can see my screen quickly. You guys can see my screen. So what you need to do is just come on the website, right? I'm going to show you all that you need to do. You come on the website. I'll paste the link here, and Coach Olugbemi can also give you that link when you are once he's done. So the link is in the chat there. You come to the website, you go into data analysis bootcamp here. The registration for October cohort, which starts on the 26th of October, which is next week. We'll get started next week. Now, it's for all the regions, for those in Europe or Africa, and for those in North America. Now, the timing is Saturdays. For those of you in Europe, I think your time is going to move forward a little bit. I'm not sure now. But for those of us in North America, it will be 9 a.m. EST on Saturday. And that will be the corresponding time for those of you in Europe. I think it will be 3 p.m. If the time doesn't move forward by then, I think it is going to be 2 p.m. But we're going to let you know. But at some point, the time will move forward, especially for those in the UK. I think UK, Africa, it will be like 6-hour difference. So the Saturday timing is the same for North America and Europe on Saturdays. It's going to be in the morning for those of us in North America. But for those of you in Europe, your second class will be on Sundays, same time. But for those of you in North America, it will be Tuesdays in the evening. All right. Okay. There's opportunity for cross-pollination. All right. But that will be, your classes. So we would see if we need to combine both classes at the end of the day when we see the number of people that have, enrolled. But anyways, this is what we have right now. So when you come on the page, you can do a couple of things. Number one, you can decide to register by booking a call. Maybe you want to speak with someone, you want to further explore your options, you want to be able to, ask some couple of questions. Maybe you're sitting on the fence, you want to ask a couple of questions, you can go ahead and book a time with one of our learning advisors. That is one of the things that you can do on the website. Now, the other thing that you can do is also see a detailed brochure of what we will be giving you during the course of the 10 weeks, right? From Excel to Power BI, everything from class 1 to class 3 is well detailed. Class 3, class 4, class 5, class 6, class 7, everything down to the very last class. Right now, there is something here that you need to be aware of. There will be the Agile Scrum class, and I'll be taking that class. The Agile Scrum is because most data analysts now work in teams that work on projects that are agile in nature. So you need to understand how to work in an agile team. So I'm going to be taking that class as part of this training. Okay, so you have the brochure there. You can go on and check that out. Now, again, the schedule is here. Of course, the schedule is here. Now, the pricing here, we've been able to give you a discount. For those of you who want better installments, that is also available. So typically it's 1,890 Canadian, but we are giving it at a discounted price for the early bird. This will last till Friday night. So for those of you who want to take advantage of that, please do take advantage of that. It's going to be 1,499. And I think that's really very generous for what we're doing with you. And I think Coach Olugbemi is going to tell you more about how we get to brand you for the market. So beyond the class itself, we get to brand you for the market that you're going into. All right. And there is a way that he does that with you. All right. So there's a personal branding with the projects that you're going to be working on so that you are discovered. There's something called job readiness and discoverability so that you are able to be discovered in the market that you're going for. All right. Don't worry about the recordings. The recordings will be shared the same way we shared the information. So Rebecca, we will share the recordings with you maybe by the end of today or tomorrow. Okay, so watch out for your email or on the WhatsApp group. And if you're not on the WhatsApp group, I'm going to share that with you before I leave. All right, so if you want to make payment at once, all right, you don't need to speak with anybody for that. Just come in here. If you're making a one-time payment now, irrespective of, it depends on where you are. It's going to show you the currency based on where you are. If you're in the US, it's going to show it to you in USD. If you are in Europe, it's going to show it to you in the British pounds, and it's going to be this amount you'll be seeing. Okay, so when you come in here, now for those of you who want more interest, you want to do more splits, you want to split it across maybe 12 months or thereabout, you can come use Klarna. Just put in your, you see, you can have 4 interest-free payments, all right? And I think they can give you more. So just put in your name, check in your region, and then go through the instructions, and you will be able to make even more installment payments if you're looking for more installments. So if you qualify for that, they will give you more installments. But if that doesn't work for you, then you can come in here and do the one that we provide, which is the 3-time installment. You can come in here, click on that again. Because I am in Canada, it's showing up in Canadian dollars. If you are in the US, it's going to show up as, I think, $3.99 or something like that in the US in USD. And then you can go ahead and make your payment. All right. I think that's about it from my end. What I'll do is I will send in the, give me a minute. I'm going to send in the data analysis bootcamp lounge. I'm going to send in I'm going to copy the link. So data lounge. So that's the data lounge on WhatsApp. All right. You can go ahead and join that on WhatsApp. All right. So Coach Oligbemi will probably go through this again towards the end. Please take advantage. We want to have you on the bootcamp, and we want to give you value for the time you'll be spending with us. That's all from my end. I know you guys don't like to hear that. That's all from my end, and I'll pass you back to Coach Olugbemi, who is going to finish off the rest of the class. So thank you, Coach. Thanks for the time.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, guys. So I'm just going to quickly show us one more thing to just make this dashboard, like, make it more beautiful. And is what we call logos, right? So there's this website called, let me just close it down. It's called Logo Maker. LO, let me put it in the chat so it's easier for you to see. So it used to be very, very easy when I first started with this. Like, you just pick the design and download, but now they'll tell you they'll send it to your email I mean, it's pretty fast, but you download it from your email, then import here. So they made it a little bit more stressful, but it's still, I mean, it's free, so why not? So the thing is, I want to have a logo for revenue, for example, right? So what can we do? Come here and type revenue and press enter. It's going to give you things that look like revenue, anything that looks like revenue. So we could select anything that has this, maybe this dollar symbol. Yeah, let's select this one. I think I like this one. Yeah, let's select this one, for example. And we want to make sure the color blends in with the color that we have. We don't want to use black, right? So I can just come to Power BI, look for, let's say I want to pick this color here, right? This one, this second color. I can click on this chart, come to those columns, right? And click on more colors. So copy the X code, right? So I'll come to this chart. It shows me this. I'll come to the column. Normally it's going to, it's possible it's currently on all, but select the total cost because I want the color for this total cost, this one. I'll come to the color, click on this color. To copy the X code, you have to click on what? More colors and copy the X code. So I think we just use that X code for all the colors. Let's hope to fit well with our visual because I don't want to waste too much time on this. So how do you change the color? Come here, you see this place that has 00000. Paste that color code here, press enter. So this is a good color code. So how do we get this? Click on save. Normally, it's going to give you a low resolution version of this because people use it for, for brand designs and everything. But it's going to give you a very low resolution because you want free, right? So don't worry. We'll click on download low resolution. Now, before now, we'll just say download and we'll have it. But now to tell you to enter your email address. So let me just enter one of the email addresses I have. This email address is only logo that is there. I usually use it for this logo stuff again. So I'll just send it to that email address. Maybe I'm just going to do it for one or two. Let's delete this one. Let's look for another one. Let's say costs. Let's type costs. Let's see what it's going to give us for costs. Costs, costs, costs. This looks more like savings to me. It doesn't look like cost. You know what? Let me try expense. Maybe to give me something that shows that something that can show that money is being taken away. Yeah, this one looks like expense or something like this, but because our currency is in dollar, I don't want to use this. This looks like it's, and this is us cutting money. Is also making sense. Yeah, I think I like that one. Oh, this airplane showing your money fly away. In fact, this one is a good. I think this one is the real expense. The money has been flying away these days. So let's click that one. I'm just going to do this second one. Click on this download low resolution in this email address. I'm just going to do for this two, and that's all. So you can always, when you're building your own, you can, do more than that. Yeah, so let me see if I've received the emails already. Great, I've received both of them. Let me download this. Hmm. In fact, these people have made it so difficult to download. But anyway, we won't complain, it's free. Or do you want to complain? Can't complain, right? So you save it as yeah. So let me just bring in those two and you see how it will sit well on our Power BI. Let's come to inserts and click on what image. Come to downloads. Let's bring in this first one. This one is the one I did for revenue. Let's make it smaller. Make your dashboard look good. Let's bring in another one. Inserts. This one. Second one for costs, right? I really like this logo. Money flying away. I think it's one of my favorite logos now. So we can get this. You can see revenue here. You can see expense here. Your total cost, showing your money going, and you can actually get for so type the same way. Just type profit. You get for profit. You get for total units sold. So if you don't see units, so you can say sales, right? Can give you something like that. Then for profit margin, just look for logo that makes sense with your design, right? Then for this one, profit trend, right? If you type in trend, for example, if you come here, type in trend, something that shows like arrow going up and down, trend. So something like this is good for trend. Something like this, yeah, can get something like this and put it on that, put it on this. So you might have to, shift this a little and put the expense here, yeah, or you just shift this title and put the expense here, put that trend logo here. And if you have a company, you can put the logo of your company here. So the color theme that we choose when you're working for a company, your color theme should be the colors of your company. Okay, so you can't be a company working for Walmart that has, I think, blue, yellow, white, and be using purple for your presentation. It doesn't really make sense. So you can, this is a good report that you can display on your LinkedIn to show people that, oh, you are into data analysis now. Yeah, the one we did last week, if you've not seen the videos, get the video for last week. At least last week and this week, you can see you have 2 solid projects that you've done on Power BI that you can put on your LinkedIn. And you can tag me as well on LinkedIn. I'll be sure to respond to your um post. So here's my name on LinkedIn. You can tag me and tag the skill garage as well. Yeah, and we'll engage your post. And at the end of the program is really, it's a 10-week program. But what I did is that I went through boot camps, right? I went through data analysis boot camp before I became a data analyst. And I got a job a few months after ending. The problems I faced in boot camps, I knew them. And I kind of made sure it's going to be addressed in this current boot camp. I did a second boot camp in business analysis. My cohort ended in September. That was September last year, actually, because I wanted to, learn the business analysis part of things as well. And I got a job with Oanisa Insurance, where I currently work. I got a job as a technical business analyst. My own business analyst is expected to know a lot of data. So my data analysis skills helped me get the job, actually. So with the business analysis I learned. So I got a job, like, we ended the course in September. I got the job in November. So you could say it's luck and you could say it's pattern. Like, I know how to get the best out of course. Currently, and you guys will see, those of you that are following me on LinkedIn, you'll see it very soon. I'm currently enrolled in a data engineering bootcamp. I'm expected to finish by December, right? And you will see very soon, maybe early next year, you see that probably I'm now a data engineer. Maybe I've moved to data engineering in my current organization because they have some slots opened as well. Or maybe. So you definitely see something around data engineering from me very soon, early next year. So boot camps are easy, but there are ways to get the best out of boot camps. If you just go there and attend, you don't participate, you will lose out. For boot camps, I would recommend 2 things. You can get 2 screens, right? If you can get 2 screens, one extra screen with your laptop. If you want to follow the tutor as he's doing his thing, I recommend you have an extra screen. So one is for the video being displayed. It's going to be on Zoom, right? So one's going to be on Zoom. One should be your Power BI, if it's Power BI, if it's SQL, if it's Excel. So you can be doing what he's doing. If you have just one laptop, I would recommend you listen, then recreate it after the class. That one is actually the best, listening and recreating, because when you want to recreate it, you discover that, oh, you are not getting it. You've forgotten a lot of things, right? So you be like you've forgotten a lot of things, right? So, but when you now want to do it, you tell you get stuck. You now have to go and watch that video. You get what I did, then you come back and do it on your own. That is the best way to retain knowledge. Getting stuck and finding yourself with the video. With that way, tendency that you will forget is very, very small. Do as I do. Everybody can do it. Even the secondary school student can do. If he sees me click this place and he follows me and he clicks it, they can replicate what I do. But let them come and do it 1 week later. It becomes difficult. So listening and replicating after the class is the best strategy, but it's usually very stressful because once you finish that class, you go back and sit down and do it again. It's usually stressful for people. So whichever one works for you, You have lifetime access to those videos. Sometimes I still go back to watch my business analysis videos if I want to do maybe test cases, if I want to do some of those things, if I want to work with Jira and Confluence, I still go back to some of those things because we have that, we had lifetime access to that video, and it's still there till now. So, and after this, you need to present everything you've learned properly. I can't send this Power BI report like this to people. I can't send my SQL code to people. You will have to build a portfolio website. Here's a sample. This is the one I built a long time ago. I've not updated it in a long time, but I mean it's still okay. So I built this one to showcase my projects then. So if you can see it, just have my picture here in the background. You can see one of the projects I did. This one was using Python. I just learned Python then. I did this one. This one is an e-commerce. This project I did when I got my first job with Law Depot. It was like a similar, like what I did. This project is for an e-commerce company. So my company is an e-commerce company, right? But we sell legal documents. The kind of projects I did here was like real life stuff I was doing at my job. So it was very easy for me to talk when I did my interview after this project. So this is another project. Let's click one of these. You click on this view project, to take you to my GitHub link. It's a free website. I created this website free of charge. You don't pay for it. You host it on GitHub. So we can show you all this. In the last class, in the last cohort, we only showed them how to create GitHub link, something beautiful like this on your GitHub that to present your projects, right? You can see all the SQ. If you want to see all my code, you can come here. You see the code, you see the output and everything. So this is called a Markdown language. We teach you how to write Markdown language to have this presentation. In the last course, we show them how to use GitHub, but in this one, we show you how to use GitHub and build a website to host your project like this. So you can see some of these dashboards. When I learned data analysis, this was the dashboard. This was the first dashboard I ever built. And everybody after that course, they were replicating this dashboard. This dashboard was trending on LinkedIn there. I was the one that built the first version of it. This FIFA dashboard that you see here. This was my first dashboard. So, Simude, I think this answers your question. This is how people see your project. You can build a portfolio website. So this is free of charge. You don't pay to host it. So we'll show you how to build this website and how to host it. And then we'll have one-on-one session with everybody on how to build. You want to see my own website. Yeah, here's the URL. You can copy it. That's the URL. Just put it, enter it in your address bar, then it will come up. So then we'll have one-on-one session with everybody, 1 hour session for your CV review. I'll show you how to write a proper CV. So we'll finish your CV for you and look at it. That's what we did with last set as well. Then we'll introduce you to an AI tool that will help you manage, that will help you, that will increase your chance when you're applying for jobs. It's going to help you scan. Most of you will know job scan, right? It's going to help you scan your CV against job roles and everything. So Skill Garage has a partnership with job scan. You pay half of the price for what you're, instead of paying full price, full regular price, you pay half if you are a Skill Garage student. So they have a partnership together. So, and you can, leverage that idea, pay for job scan. And I pay for job scan during my time as well. It's going to make application easy. Instead of me looking for keywords on resume, I just put my resume, put the job description, and job scan is now easy. Instead of it to just show you the keyword, it can even tell you how to use the keyword in your resume. So it makes writing resume easy. So you can apply for many jobs in one day, which will increase your chance because it's a game of numbers, right? But it's a game of quality numbers. You have to do quality applications and do a lot of them. So JobScan is going to help you. So part of the things we'll be getting as well, you get JobScan partnership with Skill Garage. You're going to pay, you get at a discounted price. So we'll cover SQL. We're going to be using SQL Server. I'm using SQL Server because that is what is used in many industries. I mean, when I learned, this is SQL Server, this is the interface. We use PostgreSQL, MySQL. It's very good, but SQL Server was what I started using when I joined my company, and it was, it was strange. So I was like, you know what? When I'm going to start this thing, I'm going to start to introduce people to SQL Server. So when you get there, you are ready. It's not like you're driving a car already and you want to go for a driving test and you're using the same car that you've been driving already. It becomes easier. Unlike if they just put you into one big Ford, those F-150 Ford, and you've been driving Corolla all this while. you're going to get intimidated before you get, before you adjust and everything. So you will use this. This is what you use in most companies. So we are going to be using SQL Server, show you how to download production-like databases that you will use for your analysis. And so when you get into companies, you're going to blend in easily. And there are some topics that are usually avoided in a lot of boot camps in SQL: window functions, stored procedures, um, what's the name again, views, and all those advanced analytics functions. You need them. It's usually avoided. If you look at a lot of bootcamps in data analysis, it's usually avoided. But we're going to be covering Windows function, subposition views, um, subqueries, case statement. We're going to be covering all those advanced concepts because you will struggle if you don't know them. I struggled when I started because I didn't know them, but I was learning on the job. I have a Udemy unlimited subscription. I study like mad every day. So I was able to cope, but it was very, very, very difficult. So the recording will be provided to you guys, and you can recreate most of these things that we've done, and you'll be able to, you'll be able to reproduce it. So that's all for today. I hope I'll see you guys in the next class we'll be having. I think the first week is usually a free week, so you can come in as well, and yeah, enjoy the moment. So we'll start with Excel, then we'll move to Power BI, then we'll move to the main one, the main SQL, which I call the backbone of data analysis. If you don't know SQL, you are not a data analyst, sorry to say. So we'll move to that one as well, and hopefully you guys will come out very well and come out shining. You have good portfolios like this that you can display on your LinkedIn, and yeah. So I'll see you guys. Thank you for joining today's session. I'm happy that I learned how to use purple for the first time today. I usually avoid purple, but it's not that bad. So yeah, I think I'll start considering purple in my next presentations as well. All right, thank you guys. I'll see you. Thank you. Watch the videos, recreate this, post on LinkedIn. Let me see what you've done, and I'll be glad to engage your post. All right, thank you guys. If you have any questions, I can stay behind for some minutes to take your questions, but we are done for today. Thank you. I'm going to stop recording so you guys will get it up to this level.